In this video, we're going to be taking a look on pages Access 12 and 13, in which we're going to relate two tables. Now, after you create tables and set primary key fields, you must connect the tables in one-to-many relationships to enjoy the benefits of a relational database. A one-to-many relationship between two tables means that one record from the first table is related to many records in a second table. Now, you use a common field to make this connection. Now, the common field is always the primary key in the field in the table on the one side of the relationship. So to do this and to relate this, let's take a look at step 1 on page Access 12. And this tells us that we need to go and click on the Database Tools, which is on our ribbon. Next, we need to click the Relationships button, which is in our Relationships group. And that's this little button right here. Now, in step 2, it tells us here, and it pops up the Show Table dialog box for us. So what we need to do is we need to show these tables. So the first thing we need to do is we need to double click on Customers, and of course that is going to add that there. And then you can double click on Comments, because we want to add both of these two to our relationships field area so that we can work on this. Now, each table is going to be represented by a small field list, as you can see right here. Window that displays the table's field names. Now, a key symbol, which you can see the key symbols right here, identifies the primary key fields for each table. Now, to relate the two tables in a one-to-many relationship, you need to connect them using a common field, which is always the primary key field on the one side of the relationship, to another one on another table that does not have a primary key field on there. That's why, so you can have a one-to-many relationship. Now, of course, if the Show Table dialog box didn't open, so if this didn't open up automatically, so if that didn't open up, you can always click on this Show Table button, which is in the Relationships group, which is on this Design tab, and of course that little box will pop back open for you. Once you have these, both of these tables on there, you can click on Close, and we can take a look now at Step 3. Step 3 tells us that we want to drag, so we're going to click and drag this Cust ID, or Customer ID, in the Customers field list to the Cust ID field in the Comments field list. So we're going to grab the one with the key here in our Customers list, and we're just going to drag it over here to our Cust ID in our Comments field list. Now, when we do this, the Edit Relationship dialog box is going to open up. Now, you'll notice that there's a checkbox here as well that says Enforce Referential Integrity. Now, this is a set of access rules that governs data entry, which really helps to ensure the data accuracy. So in most cases, you want to make sure you have that checked. Now, of course, a quick tip, you need to make sure that you drag a table's title bar to move the table field list. So if these are not properly lined up, you can actually drag the title bar here to move the field for you as well. In step 4, it tells us that we do want to click on the Enforce Referential Integrity checkbox in the Edit Relationships dialog box, and then we want to click on Create. When we do this, we notice that now a line has appeared, and of course we see a 1, and then we see a sideways 8, which is really the infinity sign that's on there, or the infinity symbol. And this is the one-to-many line, and it shows the link between the Customer ID field of the Customers table, which is on the one side, because if you remember it has the primary key field, and the Customer ID field on the Comments table, which is on the many side, which is indicated by the infinity symbol. Now, the linking field on the many side is called the Foreign Key field. Now that these tables are related, it's much easier to enter comments for the correct customer. Now, if you do run into some problems and you need to delete an incorrect relationship, you can always right-click the relationship line. So if I needed to delete this, I can just right-click the line and I can delete it, or I can actually edit it if I need to. But I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Next, on step 5, it tells me that I want to right-click the Relationships tab here, and I'm going to click on Close. Of course, it's going to my changes to the layout of relationships, and in this case, yes, I do. Next, I'm going to double-click the Customers table, and that's in the navigation pane, and this is going to open up the Customers table in the datasheet view. Now, when you relate two tables in a one-to-many relationship, you'll notice that there's these little plus signs that now appear on the left-hand side of each of the records. And this is on the one side of the relationship. In this case, the Customers table is on the one side of the relationship, so this is what has little plus signs. Now, of course, a quick tip for you: to print the relationship window, all you'd have to do is click the Relationship Report button in the Design tab and click on Print. So if I had my database tools open in my relationships, if I needed to go through here and print this out, I would go up here to my Relationships Report, and I could actually go through here and print this out, because here would be a report for it, and I can print this out and display and show that, hey, here is my relationships for this table. I'm going to go ahead and close that out there, and I'm not going to save my changes there. We'll close out my relationships on there as well. Now, step 6 tells me that I want to click the Expand button to the left of the first record, which is the one with your name on it. When I click on that, notice that it expands up, and now we see that sub-data sheet shows the related comment records for each customer, which is, in other words, the sub-data sheet shows the records on the many side of a one-to-many relationship. Now, earlier, all we seen was just the pure information, just the customer ID, first name, last name, phone number, birth date. However, now we see that's on here, that since we tied them together, now it's pulling information from the comments table that's on there. So we see what's on the many side that's tied to this customer ID. Now, the Expand button, once we click on it and it expands up, changes to, of course, a negative sign, which is the Collapse button for the first customer. Now, of course, we can widening the comment field allows us to see the entire entry that's on there. Of course, notice that when we did that earlier, we were able to see it all there as well. Now, the task of entering comments for the correct customer is much more straightforward. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to be inputting in some brand new comments on there. And if we take a look on page Access 13, we're going to input in a new comment for customer 1, which is for you, and then we're going to put in a new comment for customer 3. So for customer 1, I can go through here and just click right in the comments area, and I'm going to type in Computer Science Major at Iowa State University. And then of course I can change the comment date to 1/8/15. And of course as well, if I need to expand this up, I can use my resizing handle here, and I can resize that so I can see all my comment. So now I've just made another comment just by pulling up my customers table. Now you can really see the power of Access in here. Now I'm going to add in another comment for customer 3 here. So I'm going to click on the Expand button for, in my case, Chuck Norris, and I'm going to add in a comment for him. And on this one, I'm going to put needs to travel. Oops, helps if I have my keys, my fingers on the right keys. But I'm going to put needs to travel with, and in this case, I'm going to put his being iDog. And of course, I'll put the comment date of 1/9/15. And your name is going to be a little bit different. And of course, for record number 3, make sure you put his or her, depending on whoever you have for record number 3. That's on there. Of course, interestingly, the customer ID field in the comments table, which is the foreign key field, is not displayed in the sub-data sheet. Now, behind the scenes, Access is entering the correct customer ID value in the comments table. which is the glue that ties each comment to the correct customer. Because you notice we don't have to put in the customer ID. All we have is the comment ID, which is our auto number, our comment, and our comment date on there. Now, of course, make sure that you are careful when you enter in complete comments for the correct customer. That's on there because, once again, if you clicked on the wrong expand, that could be a little bit difficult on there for you to explain a little bit later on there. So make sure that you do have 2 comments for customer number 1, which is yourself, and 1 comment for customer number 3. Once you have this on there, you want to go ahead and close your customers table. It may prompt you to save your changes, and which the only real reason why it's asking us to save the changes is because in my case I expanded out the comment area a little bit so that I could see all of my comment for comment ID 2. So I can go ahead and click on yes, and that will close out my customers table. Now, of course, all that information has been recorded in the comments area. If I would take a quick look there's comments 1, 2, and 3. I put in all my information into the customers table, but now it's been copied automatically to the comments area, so I don't have to duplicate all my efforts. And that includes the information that's on pages Access 12 and in 13, and in the next video we're going to be talking about entering in more data.